Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. And this is the final of the Ladies Champions League. They've been battling it out, 32 players battling out over the weekend. They played in round-robin groups of 4. And 16 players proceeded through to the last 16. And here we are, down to 2 players winning the lag and breaking off is Harriet Haynes. Harriet, originally from the Basingstoke area, I think now resides in Kent. And her opponent, Amy Beauchamp, from Nottingham. 2 well-known players on the circuit. Amy, I said the same thing yesterday. I know Amy is a world titleist. She has a world championship, but I'm not sure if current, because I've kind of lost track of where the game is throughout COVID. But definitely won it very recently. So Amy versus Harriet, and 2 very good winners. And again, as in with the men's side, no surprise that these 2 are at the business end. Oh, wow. So close to losing the cue ball. So close. It seemed to dip in the pocket. How's that stayed up? Wow. And actually not left a massive amount in the way of options. I'm just looking to see whether Amy can even see the potting angle of the yellow nearest the bulk line to the top left pocket. Ball really buried in. Maybe to cut back for the plant, but cue ball will be travelling, and it looks, if you play that cut back, potential for the in-off. Harriet really hit the scene over the last couple of years. I know she travels all over for the pool as well. I'm from the southwest area, and there was a time where I thought Harriet was local to the southwest, because I'd see her in the Southwest Pool Tour playing in those events, but actually I think she was travelling down. After this final is going to be the final of the Jason Owen Open. I'm just having a look now to see whether we know who's going to be in the final of that yet. I know it was a couple of close games at the moment. Aaron Davis playing Clint Hyanson. Aaron was 3-1 up, and now Clint 4-3 ahead. And Sean Story against Jimmy Croxton. Jimmy Croxton went out to a 3-0 lead, and Sean's pegged him back, and Sean now leads 4-3. So both of those games have turned around. Their races to 5, so Sean looking favourite to be in another final. And what a weekend he's having. Can you imagine coming up against this kind of field and making 2 finals? That is exceptional. Yeah, so I was talking about Amy's World Championship title. She won that actually. That was just before COVID hit. I forgot, of course, the IPA have their World Championship very early in the year, don't they? So that was before COVID hit last year. So she won the World Championship in 2020. She beat Emma Cunningham in the final. That was played, I believe it was played down in Bournemouth. I remember that was just as COVID was starting to rumble around. I think they had a very early lockdown and then opened back up to play that. And they took the opportunity to play that event down in Bournemouth. So yeah, current world champion. And she's Region 8, which is Nottingham, but she has played in the Kent team. They were national champions with Kent and Meerkats. So her ambition is to do well on the tour, and isn't she doing well? Another final, and currently 1-0 up. Please do like and share this stream. It's great to get the exposure for the ladies' game. They really are going from strength to strength with the quality of players and the numbers in the fields. As I say, 32 turned up this weekend, which I think is a great number. Seems to increase every year. This is a tidy clearance from Harriet. Going to level things up at 1 frame apiece. From the break. Yeah, Amy going in off and paying the penalty. Harriet, a reverse dish. So that will settle any nerves that Harriet may have had. It's good to get that first frame on the board. Things starting to quiet down in the arena. There's just a couple of matches still ongoing. The semi-final of the Jason Owen Open. A lot of people have already made their way back down the motorway or whichever direction they're going. Lots of people have travelled from all over. I've been talking to people this weekend, travelled from Norwich, from down in Plymouth, from the London area, Essex. And for all those guys, it's a long way home when you're up in Blackpool. It's a safe journey to anybody that's been here this weekend, whether you're here to spectate, whether you're here to play. Hope you all have a safe journey home. And the roads are kind to you. Uncharacteristic mistake, pushing that ball wide. It was one I expected her to get, and all of the yellows were on and in dangerous places. The reds, well, one problem ball which Harriet went after straight away, didn't get quite into the cue ball that's required, and ended up a little bit in no man's land. Got this long red up the rail, which is tricky. Oh, could get through to the one over the middle. Couldn't see from the angle we were at that she could actually get through to that one. Had another go at moving that red. It was always going to be the problem because the black's in the way, well, black and yellow are in the way of the double, so had to try and dislodge it to get it on, and only that long red to recover with, which Amy comes back to the table. It's not quite as attractive a table as it was when she was at it last time, because now that red in bulk is covering the path to the yellow up that side of the table, so a little bit more work to do. And it really is all about that yellow. She's going to play it now. Great double. Great double. And really is in prime position now. Can just knock the plant down. And basically is about cue ball control, just a series of drops. If she can hold the cue ball together. Controlled it well. That one big shot, the one double, should win her the frame. These guys don't mess around, do they? They're quick. Aggressive, attacking players. It's great to see. Good quality pull from both so far. But it looks like Amy is going to take this frame. That was spoke a little too soon, maybe. That looked like a formality, but the problem was you could see she got down on the shot a couple of times and then maybe just seemed to rush it a tad. This is missable now. Only half a pocket to aim at. Yeah. Kind of got second prize. Got the ball over the pocket, but She's going to be in trouble next time she comes to the table. You can see, yeah, it was just a slightly awkward angle on the previous ball. You felt like she could just stun out, but obviously not. She decided to top it through. I think she was trying to play it in the opposite middle, but just came up short. Now, the problem is with this, I like that first shot because now you can play the snooker and get this ball out into the open. And I think what Harriet is going to be looking at doing is covering, yeah, didn't quite get it, but I think she was trying to cover the path, the one cushion escape across the table, because this should be, I was going to say it should be a formality, but I think the middle bag's in the way of the natural angle, so Amy's going to have to go slightly high with side, which makes it missable, and has given 2 shots away. Sorry, 2 visits. That's gone a little awkward as well. It's not, can't pot the first red past it. Difficult to pot it off the rail. It's definitely not a gimme. In fact, I'd say it was quite awkward to pot it off the rail because it's quite a distance from the pocket. Has to judge this really well. I think that was always going to be the danger as well. Is that cue ball going to travel? No. So it is ultimately going to be 2-1 to Amy. And yeah, I guess you could say a little bit unlucky from Harriet. I don't think it was particularly careless. She was just trying to knock the red ball down the table and just set it up. A little bit unfortunate that it went in behind the red, but I guess if you're super critical, and maybe should have been a consideration. But as I say, I think you could just mark that one down as just a bit unlucky. And the fact that it came away from the pocket as far as it did just made that shot off the rail really awkward. Very, very tricky. When they're over the pocket or just a couple inches away from the pocket, they're much easier to judge. So Amy breaks in the 4th frame, leading 2-1. She pots her red. Table's okay. Reds have a couple of issues. The red just above the black, and also the one tied up between the 3 yellows on the right. But they are the ball to go for. The red above the black will drop into middle, so the one that we need to think about is manoeuvring the cue ball so we can find an angle to knock this one out. And she's got the angle now. Played a couple of decent shots. Now, this is a key to the frame. Caught the yellow on the way through, which has dislodged things, and I think the red will now pot. She's got a line through the 2 yellows for the one in the middle. If she can find the right spot on the table, kind of the line of the yellow that's just above the black spot, if you're around about that area, then you can pot this red. Would have been tricky trying to find that spot. And she's missed the one to middle. First time we've seen Harriet on stream over the weekend. We've streamed a couple of ladies' matches. Been quite impressive so far. Cue's a good ball. Like I say, doesn't mess around. Gets on with the game. The one on the to the left on the bulk line would be the next ball. A little bit too much angle to just drop on the one. Could hold. Could hold. I think nicked a little bit of the pocket, so held it really well. Left a decent angle now to punch the cue ball through. Just caught the yellow, so again, just a tiny bit awkward. May have to play this one down the rail now, and then it's about a little more difficult to control the cue ball. Drops it in, and as she left this yellow, it will go to middle. I think the middle's quite a big pocket actually with the red where it is. It's going to be difficult to hold for the last yellow. Oh, what a lovely delicate shot. Oh, wow. I thought that was in. Playing across the nap, that may well have just pulled slightly to the bottom pocket, or maybe I couldn't catch a line on it, but I thought it was in, but it just caught that near knuckle. Controlled the shot really well. It's a little heavy-handed. Now has to... Quite fortunate really the yellow's there, because I think she can change the angle by playing the red off the yellow. So maybe at a hold for this red. If not, she's going to be sending the yellow off of a couple of cushions. You don't want to be moving the cue ball around if you can avoid it. Just keep the game simple. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. She's got a shot. Get in position on the black. Not straightforward. Normally you would want to play it with screw on and off the side rail to get back out for the black, but the middle pocket looms large. So that makes the shot a tad more difficult, and because of that, she's going to play it to the right corner, and that is a great pop. That's really good. Fine margins at the moment, very little between these two. The players have just stepped out for a bathroom break, so in fact, yeah, Harriet's just stepped away for a second, so it might be just a couple minutes before the next frame commences. Give you a chance to go boil the kettle. Sunday afternoon. I'm sure you got your roast dinner in the oven and enjoying the pool. Harriet to break in frame number 5, trailing 3 frames to 1. A big break and a big frame. Makes the ball. Really timed them well. What a big break that is. And albeit there's a little bit of traffic around the table, the yellow's not too bad. Just one of those clearances that needs to be taken in the right order. And I think the yellow, yeah, there we see the yellow on the bulk line. You can get to it. You can get to the potting angle, I think. May decide to try and knock it out anyway. Oh, a shot. That red just came back across again. Is it still pretty much the same place, or can we now see the potting angle? Just a little flick on the yellow there, just pushing it across the red makes things a lot more tricky for Amy. Yeah, reds don't look good, do they? So Amy probably doing the right thing and just putting in some covering fire across the black. I like that, just getting that yellow out, knowing that reds are still pretty ugly. Well, that's a result. Landed perfectly on this tricky red. Push it below the black. And the great double, a little bit unfortunate, kissed that yellow into the path of the one over the left pocket, but yeah, can't get through to the potting angle of the right one of those two near the bulk line. Again, just put some cover in and takes control of the frame. Clearly saying looks like a race to 9. Actually, no, that's best of 9, so it's a race to 5. And someone asked what the prize money is, and I must admit, that's one thing I normally pride myself on, finding out that kind of information, and I will try and find out for you. I'm not sure, but I will endeavour to find the answer. plays a DF, it's probably a good time to play it as well. It's still a couple of problem balls. I just wonder whether there's any value in playing the yellow that's above the black to try and get it in the open and the black in the open at the same time, or alternatively maybe trying to double the yellow she's aiming at now, maybe try and double it back up. That's exactly what she's done. Yeah, nice shot, and kind of half opens the frame up as well. She would have been happy either way, just disturbing things, but even happier now it's gone in because she's got that second visit. And I think that's okay. I think that'll cut to middle. It goes in just above the other yellow. Oh, nice pot. Sent the cue ball around trying to knock out the other yellow, but she's still got the second visit, so can just drop this in. And the only problem is, I guess, is the black's still tied up, but I think you probably just need to take your medicine and use your 2 shots to pop the yellow at the top of the table and then play some kind of double on the black maybe. Be easy to try and do too much. Now just set it up and try and land on the black. That's nice. Good angle. Good angle. So all about cue ball control, this one. It needs to be a deep screw length of the table and try and avoid that red and land on the black. This looks pretty good. Not just pretty good, that's a great shot. That is a great shot. Really well judged. There's not a lot of breathing space on that one. Oh, that's a great finish. That is a great finish. Top drawer. And very much back in the game at 3-2. Great advert for the ladies' game, this. The current world champion. A couple of players at the top of their game. And a dry break. Again, another one of those. Just, it's tricky, isn't it? A lot of traffic. Both balls have a problem. If you go yellows, the one on the bulk line, where does that go? If you go reds, the one on the left side cushion, the 2 just below the bulk line, I think you have to go yellows. I could be wrong. I think Harriet played that as a kind of 2-in-1 shot to pot in the bottom left, and maybe the other one punches towards the middle bag, but maybe didn't commit to either, and still really the same issues. I mean, you have to go yellows here, but it's not a nice table. I think you have to go yellows and then just stake a claim. There was me thinking go yellows and maybe try and get one of these yellows over that top right pocket, but Amy was having none of that. She's gone after those 2. Just came around the back of them though. Oh, this is brilliant. And just glance that other yellow. Did you notice that? Just glance that other yellow, an inch up table, which now means it's potable into the top right. Does this go? No. Tried to squeeze it off the back of the red. She's a very aggressive player, isn't she? very attacking. Is there a gap? No. Need to get that yellow out of there as soon as possible. Don't know about that. Not sure about that. That's giving Harriet a go at the one on the bolt line down the rail. And if she gets it, she's only got to play a little stop shot. She's got the other two reds. Well, she's not going to go for it. She's going to go for one's in the middle now, which is fair enough. More than one way to skin a cat. Everyone sees things differently. Actually, I kind of like this way because you can take the one on the bolt line back into that top left, and if you miss it, you're going to be tying up Amy with the two yellows up there. So actually, it's clear thinking, and I've commentated on way too many frames to be clear thinking anymore. So now, this is like a free go at it. In or over. Over's fine. Takes control. Not quite to plan. Try to get that red inside the yellow, but has time on her side. She'll get another shot where she can bring that ball back out into play. The real key to the frame at the moment is this little cluster up over the top left. I think Amy's trying to pick out a DF to give her some control of that top left pocket, but I'm not sure there is one, because I guess if she's going to play something, she has to do it now while this yellow's over the pocket. Does the red go below the yellow? I mean, I guess it must. Otherwise, I can't see why Harriet wouldn't have tried to just punt that across to the left of the table. So it's all going to come open now. Yeah, you can see it. That red squeezes below the yellow, so that's why. Still really good control. Didn't want that to go in. You can see from the look on the face there was a little wow and a shake of the head. Needed that ball to cover the pocket. And now this is going to be a real struggle. Harriet with all the time, under no pressure, can just punt that red out into the open, and Amy forced to try and make something happen, I think it's a forlorn hope, but the only thing I can think of is to DF the black into the 2 yellows at the top of the table and try and get the black on the right hand side of those 2 yellows with the yellows guarding the pocket. But even then, Harriet with 2 shots to get it back out again. Maybe just going to push the yellows across to try and close that little gap. Alright, thinks it's time to pull the trigger. Wow. That could have gone wrong. Well, I think she's got to try and... I don't know whether she was trying to screw across and pop them both at the same time, but really let the cue ball go there. Or actually, yeah, probably always had that as a plan, just to play the DF and leave Amy with this problem to sort out. These players understanding the rules far better than I. It was never Harriet's intention to attack there. Doesn't need to. Oof. You thought if that red moved, it was gonna drop in, but it moved and didn't. Somehow. Harriet still under no real pressure to do anything wild. Just playing away. Making it difficult for Amy to get the balls out into the open. The yellow on top of the red is going to be near impossible to get out. I mean, as long as that yellow isn't touching the red, she has half a chance of getting out. But if she keeps nudging into it, if she pushes it over so it's touching the red, then it's just not coming out. You can't avoid then potting the yellow. Potting the red. There's one out. I think from Harriet's perspective, she can just drop that in, can't she? Just drop it in the middle. And then say, there you go. If you can get it out, fair play to you. I used to be pretty good at the tactics on the world rules, but it's been such a long time. Well, they're both out now, and if she's left a touching ball here, that's a fiendish shot. Can only assume it must have been touching ball, because otherwise this would be a foul snooker. I do like the odd occasional tactical frame. That's a really good shot. Well, look at that. So now one ball out in the open. And now from a position of real ascendancy, Harriet, let's say, under pressure now. What do? Do you double that yellow back across the table? Are you under pressure here? As I say, it's been such a long time since I played these rules. Do you try the one cushion and pot it, but then you've got a real pressure black? Or do you double the yellow back over that left-hand side and give away 2 visits? Interesting. Taking the aggressive option. Used to play it with pace, a bit of pace anyway, to get the cue ball back out. What a great shot. Look at that. I mean, I don't think you can play that shot any better, can you? Hit the red in quarter ball, black down the table, cue ball down the table to leave this black. Wow. 3 frames each. What a super shot that was. Well, look what happens. Just stepped away for 2 minutes, ran down the corridor for a quick bathroom break, and there's a break dish. Wow. Harriet, having played a great shot in the previous game. It was going to take a big shot to finish that one off and not turn it into a long, drawn-out, even more drawn-out tactical battle. So Harriet taking the ball by the horns and played a great shot to finish off that one, and then is rewarded with a break dish in the next. So gets herself on the hill, and it's pressure right back on Amy to do the same thing. Another really good break. They do time these breaks well. Look at that. Split wide open, not a cluster. Literally not a problem ball on the table, just needs to control the cue ball. And it's probably going to be the first shot, which is the most awkward. Just a yellow up into the top corner bag. Just a soft stun shot to hold the cue ball in the mid-table. I think if she can do that, then everything else should be fairly plain sailing. I guess the only issue you can see is that the yellow on the black spot, just the left of the black spot, is where does that one go? Lost the cue ball slightly with the cannon. Now it's a bit more tricky. Still got this yellow to top left, but again the cue ball's running. Suddenly becomes a little bit more of an awkward clearance. As I say, the problem was always going to be the yellow near the black spot and finding a home for that one. Still finding her way around the table. It's still getting difficult. Needs one really good shot. Has the yellow at the bottom of the table closest to us. Look how much side she's loading that. Makes those shots really tricky. Playing it with loads and loads of check side, the far extreme right hand side of the ball, and it kind of throws the object ball. And you wonder now whether she's played her last shot. Harriet looking to nudge the ball on the side rail and promote it. Actually just nudged it closer to the rail, but that should be fine. She's landed on it. These pockets play pretty good on these tables. No drama whatsoever. Can she hold it together? Not batting an eyelid at the moment. A little betwixt and between. Still has a shot. It will cut, but cue ball's travelling. It'll cut to either bottom left or bottom right, but either one the cue ball's going to be moving. Great shot. One more big pot needed. Composes, gets over the ball. Oh, wow. Second prize though. I think if we look at the overhead, I think that red's right in the pocket. I don't think the yellow powers where you can see already that, yeah, Amy playing the snooker, so obviously couldn't attack from there. we'll be looking to get 2 visits here, Amy, and then I think no messing around, we're just going to see her. Try and get that yellow out. So Harriet moving another pawn into position, just getting another yellow down over this side of the table to stop Amy from doing that. It's a good shot. Yeah. Well, I think we know what's going to happen here, don't we? Black into the melee. Pop the red. No, definitely not what was required. And that really could and should be the last shot that Amy plays. She needed that black to stay right there in the mix. Ideally touching one of the yellows to make it impossible for Harriet to get it out. But here we are, this long black. And she nails it. And that is a great win for Harriet Haynes. Very well done. I really enjoyed that. I've got to say, I really enjoyed that. A couple tactical frames, but I do enjoy a tactical frame to see the how the minds of really good tacticians work, and that was super. Both played really well. Harriet was the better of the two on the day. She played a couple of really good shots in there. Well, more than a couple, but a couple at key times, which ultimately was what sent her the spoils. That really was a good final. So congratulations to Harriet Haynes. She walks away with the trophy and the title of the Ladies Champions League winner. We are going to reset things here, and then we will very, very shortly be back with you with the final of the Jason Owen Open. And I can tell you that the finalists are Sean Story. It's getting boring now, isn't it? 2 finals. Sean Story will be playing Clint Hansen, so that's going to be another cracking final. It's a race to 6, so there's the trophy and the handshake from the governor, Neil Toms. An excellent job that Neil's done over this weekend. As I say, we're going to reset things here. We'll be back very, very shortly with that men's final. We'll see you very soon.